So when I think back on 2025, the one project that really highlighted the skill set of our development team is probably Sigma's. You know, when you think about the development team, because our supply chain is very unique to the industry, meaning that we have our full design team and then we have our full manufacturing team in China, you have to look at the whole scenario, right? Like Sigma's launched 700 styles, designed, developed, manufactured, and launched in less than 7 months. Now, a lot of things go into that, right? You're talking about the overall brand discovery in the beginning of all of the products, the inspirations, the design element, the technical design, all of the pattern making, all of the branding, the packaging, the trims, the manufacturing, the QC checks, the rounds of samples that we went undergone. You guys saw it all on YouTube. It's a very, very extensive process. And when you're doing that for one client that maybe has 20 to 30 styles, it's already an achievement to launch it in less than 6 months, but we're talking about 700 styles that went to market. From inception to completed product and launched in less than 7 months. I don't think anyone's ever done that. A lesson that we learned this year when it comes to production, manufacturing, very valuable lesson is that shit happens. It goes wrong, shit goes wrong all the time, because understand that no matter which stage of the process you have, there is human error that comes along each piece. And some clients or some of the processes may be unforgiving because delays happen, timelines happen, and everything's basically a domino effect. And you have to sometimes just sit back and take a breather and try to figure out solutions so that it doesn't happen again, which inevitably sometimes it does. But you do your best to navigate these issues, because in the world of production of apparel, there's more than 10 steps that go along with just creating one piece of apparel. And until you realize all the things that go along with it, you're not gonna be as forgiving as we are. So just learn to be patient sometimes and, understand that delays happen. A specific process that I'd like to elevate, or just a product overall in our business, is the catalog aspect of our business. Because we own the supply chain, we've been developing basically a whole year, a full catalog basically that we'd like to offer as like ready to order pieces, right? All you do is just slap your logo on there. We can handle branding placements for you if you have your assets. And I really want to put that into the world. I know we kind of talked about Magic early on this year, but we put it off just because we had so much going on. But in 2026, I really want to go full into this space with Magic as an exhibition to have our entire team on the North America side and China side really showcase it. I really want to go to Magic in 2026 in Vegas and really just do a full out showing in, I think it's August. But the world needs a better catalog, in my opinion, and we're working to offer that. A quality standard that I want to double down on is our current QC process in China. Because we have so many different clients, so many different styles, so many different brands that we work on, sometimes things get overlooked in China. And our development team is constantly having these calls. I'm currently constantly having these calls as well with our China team to like overly refine this process, because as we go into 2026, we are now an established company officially, right? We're year 3 in a business or year 4 in a business for Relay. That means that we're here to stay. And little errors like untrimmed threads or branding placements being wrong or the wrong size cannot happen, right? Our technical development side for tech packs are really, really meticulous. Our technical design is really, really meticulous. And so these errors really shouldn't be made. But again, back to the other question is like human error happens. And when you have hundreds of styles every single month being put out for samples, things will fall through the cracks, and which I understand. And so we want to make sure that we're standardizing this process, not only from the US side, but from the China side, because it becomes a domino effect. If something slips through the cracks on the China side, and comes into the US side, they should have caught it on the China side before it got here, because if we get a sample that is defected or just wrong in general, we have to say, you have to remake this, and basically that wastes 2 weeks of our client's time. And in the world of apparel production, usually 1 day delay means almost a 1 week delay in real time. So we want to really refine this process, and if our sample department in China has to take an extra 4 or 5 days to create a perfect sample every time, then that's what we'll do. We want to get in the realm of not feeling like we have to rush everything, because at the end of the day, if you rush something and it's wrong, you basically wasted all of that time. So we'd rather take another 4 or 5 days to make it perfect, so you don't have to see another round after that. The skill set or mindset that I'd like to see be strengthened in product development is just overall understanding. We've been very understanding this year. We've been so patient with everything. I mean, I got to give credit to my team. Like, our team is really pretty fucking amazing at handling and diffusing problems when it comes to them. So it's like, I think it's for me, right? Me not being in the day-to-day so much anymore, I tend to just like lash out at the manufacturing side and be like, hey, what happened, what happened, what happened? Because I, majority of the time, only hear about the problems, and it's how you react to the problems that really define who you are as a leader in the business, and I really want to do a better job at it. But it's kind of my job to be almost like the hothead in the room for this type of situation, because if our team escalates it and it doesn't get resolved and it leads up to me, I have to be the one that basically comes charging in and fixes it. So maybe I need to do a better job on my side to, which I take the onus of, to do a better job at just like accepting that these things happen. And, you know, with the domino effect that happens, like, we have to diffuse it with the clients. And so maybe there's some gap here that needs to be filled on my side that I just need to do a better job, to be honest. So maybe it just falls into me. It's not my team. My team has been doing so great this year. It's me better handling these moments. So that's my priority. So the opportunity that I see in our overall process that I would like to modernize is just an overall showcasing our manufacturing side of the business. With this new facility that we have soft opening in April, which we're going to take you guys along the journey, I would like to have a more automated approach for the production side, because a lot of you guys see us just usually in the office and only talking about the samples and the clients, but you don't really see the production process fully in our current facility. And so I need to do a better job to showcase this aspect. And so in 2026, that is definitely something that we are going to prioritize, because the new facility looks really, really amazing in terms of automation, and just an overall like more commercialized approach to how we showcase this manufacturing side. It's gonna be fucking epic, guys. Like, you know, with the production process, like, most people don't have a full understanding of all of the steps of how a garment is made. And so with this new side of the business, we really want to show you from A to Z in our own facility how everything is done. So with brands that come in and work with Student Pro Dev, the one thing that I want brands to understand is that not all products are created equal, and that the development process of garments is ultra technical. And to be honest, I really want brand owners to learn every single step the right way. You can go as easy as just sending a picture to a manufacturer that you found on Alibaba or Instagram nowadays and just say, hey, I want you to recreate this, let me measure it. But basically, you've skipped yourself and you've robbed yourself of the next 8 to 10 critical steps of how it's being done. And until you really learn the language of how everything is supposed to be made, you really won't have an understanding of why things happen the way they do, right? Like stone washing, acid washing, soft washing, enzyme washing, chemical treatments, pattern making, whether something should be a flat lock, overlock, single stitch, like people don't understand. And I really want people to work with Student Pro Dev in the way that you learn technical development the way it should be done. It's so tough to really communicate what clothing brand owners are doing wrong versus what they should be doing, because they don't know what they don't know, right? And then in this world, like, you know, our social media channel, like my personal Instagram and, you know, the Relay distro for all the Student Pro Dev videos, we try to put out as technical information as possible, but until you really immerse yourself thoroughly in the process with us, you really don't have a clear understanding. And most people just think a tech pack is a tech pack. It doesn't fucking work like that, guys. A tech pack can be as simple as someone you've hired on Fiverr for 50 bucks, or you've hired someone like us to do your tech pack, which if we're just doing a straight tech pack for you, we're gonna charge you $1,500. And most people don't know why. They don't know why our tech pack is 30 times the cost of something that you find on Fiverr for 50 bucks. And they're like, well, why the fuck would I pay for a $1,500 tech pack when I just go get it for 50 bucks? Well, you're gonna get a $50 worth of tech pack. It's not gonna tell you shit. You're not gonna understand the technicalities and the meticulousness of what needs to go into developing a technical garment. You can probably get away with it with a t-shirt or maybe like a pair of joggers that have 4 panels or 5 panels. But if you're going into this technical sportswear route, or you're doing like parka jackets or anything really technical, you're not gonna understand why, dude. Like, not all cotton is created equal. Not all polyesters are created equal. Not all nylons are created equal. And you don't understand. If you don't understand, you don't understand. That's the truth. And I really want to make Student Pro Dev one of the biggest companies in the world, because the world that is apparel needs to understand what apparel really is supposed to be. In the world of social media right now, you have so many people going to Canton Fair and just saying like, oh, what is the MOQ of this? Oh, I can just order this. But it's like, dude, you're robbing the clothing brand owners because you're just telling them the cost of something and the MOQ of something. Well, what about the quality of the yarn? What about the hand feel? What about the different washes that went into it? What about the different construction methods? What about the different trims and the notions and the way it's dyed? You don't look at all of these things because most people who are on social media putting out this type of content, they also don't fucking know because they've never really immersed themselves properly in this industry. So they've seen a little success in this industry and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna make social media content talking about the MOQ because I can fly to China and, you know, go film with the manufacturer. But it's like, dude, you don't even fucking know the process. So how can you teach the process? And our business is so fucking technical because it is supposed to be what it is. That's the way a garment is made. Understand that you're asking someone who is a pattern maker who's never met you before, or a fabric technician, or a technical developer overseas to just copy exactly what you want. But they don't fucking know that. They don't know what you want. They don't know who you are or what you even want or what your brand even is. How can they create the exact garment that you want if you don't tell them every single step of how it's supposed to be made? This is what we do at Student Pro Dev. We are very fucking technical and meticulous with our garments. And I hope that most or more brand owners can see the message that we put out. Social media is really prevalent and it's easy to build a platform in this industry, but I can guarantee you that 99.9% of the content that you see on Instagram, those clothing brand owners or clothing brand quote unquote social media gurus don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And this is why we do what we do.
Looking back at 2025, one moment that really defined Relay distribution was when we were actually in a pretty poor cash position at one point. And I know I've mentioned this over the videos that we've done over the past few months of, you know, we probably sound like a broken record talking about how we had a slow start to the year and yada, yada, yada. Well, I think that was our defining moment, right? We had a very slow start to the year, and we had to really put our heads down and focus on the things that were important. Of course, we had to cut hours during that time. It wasn't a fun position to be in. We wanted to make sure that we didn't have to let anybody go, which we didn't, which was great, you know, and we're so thankful to our team for sticking with us through those slow times. But somehow, some way, you know, we had some really warm leads at the time that we were like, okay, we need to just really go after these hard and tackle them. And we went after it. We put our heads down, executed, and really turned the ship around, so to speak. And I just think during that time, you know, it really just showed what we're capable of whenever we put our minds to something and go full force. So something that I learned about leadership and operations this year that surprised me actually kind of trickled back to the question I just answered of the defining moment, right? So during that time, it really came down to, you know, what kind of leaders did Daniel and I want to be, right? Like, did we want to set off the alarms? Did we want to go full panic mode and fire employees and all that? And, you know, I think for us, we didn't want to do that, right? And it really showed the type of leadership that we displayed with, okay, we're going to figure this out. We're going to turn this around. We're going to do what we got to do to keep the company going. And yeah, I think it just kind of just really showed who we really are at the core and what we're willing to do for the company and our employees. As we move into 2026, the most important mission for Relay this year, on top of providing like amazing customer service, that's always been a number one goal of ours, but I think the 3PL space, fulfillment space is becoming more and more saturated and competitive. So we really want to stick out as a trusted, reliable partner. I think there's also some improvements to be made on our, I would say, the tech side of just things that we offer for, you know, client portals and things like that, which we do have a lot of great things in place, but obviously I think there's some improvement that could be made there. Obviously our website can be drastically better, so those are some goals that we have going into 2026 to improve on. Next year, we want our culture to evolve internally and with clients by honestly continuing to foster what we've already built. So we run things pretty autonomously when it comes to our processes with our team. We give them a lot of free range to develop processes and give feedback without a lot of micromanagement from Daniel and I. So I think that's really fostered a culture of ownership within the team, and you can kind of see that bleed through to their work that they're providing to our clients and also internally, right? So I think we've developed a pretty awesome culture here, and I think that's one of the most things I'm proud of with what we've been able to accomplish. And like I said, naturally that just kind of bleeds over to the work that we're doing and making clients happy. On the client side, we want to continue to just be amazing partners, right? You know, we have a very personal relationship with all of our clients. They all have Daniel and I's phone number. You know, there are some times where they're reaching out to us, which I think a lot of people will probably say boundaries or set those boundaries, but I think we're such a small team and small business that if we didn't allow that, it probably wouldn't be a great experience for some of our clients, right? I think because some of our clients are still the owners that are running and operating their business, they want to speak directly to the owner operators of the partners that they're working with, and that's no problem for us. You know, we have a culture of, hey, we're a team and we're going to get this done, and you know, we're not going to send you through a pipeline of emails and calls and things like that just to get access to information. So we make ourselves pretty available, and I think we just want to continue to be that partner and provide that service. So the habits and skills that we want our team to build stronger on in 2026, I think are a few different things. There's been times where our whole entire team has displayed amazing leadership qualities or stepped up into a leadership type scenario where, they either had to train some temps, step up if, maybe Kevin wasn't around or I wasn't around, and make a decision in the moment. As a leader, it's great to see other people step up and be leaders in your company, and we really want to continue to foster those habits. And this is something that I, in our one-on-ones, had conversations with a lot of our employees, and pointed out these amazing times that they stepped up in a time that they needed to lead, and we want to continue to foster that. And of course, there's always things that can be worked on, like warehouse cleanliness and processes and efficiencies and things like that. So we just want to continue to foster those habits as well. So an area of the business that we want to see operate more efficiently in 2026 actually is our sales pipeline and lead generation. So I think a lot of that right now relies on this channel and this YouTube and our social media, as well as Daniel, right? And there are times where, the channel may not be getting as much traction, or, Daniel's focusing on other things, I'm focusing on other things. We don't really have like a good sales process in place. And I think 2026 is a really great time for us as we're scaling to start implementing these types of processes. So if we had no limitations, one thing I would introduce next year, actually we're going to do this whether we have limitations or not, is the add-on right outside. So I think we're actually limiting ourselves a little bit by not having that space. So that is a top priority for 2026. But if they're no, money wasn't an object, all this, I think I would heavily invest into AI automation in the warehouse and reporting, and just all kinds of things that you can streamline and be more efficient with using AI. And I think that's probably something that you're going to see a lot in this industry in the future as AI just becomes more prominent. So as I think about relay distribution at the end of 2026 and what it feels like to be a part of this team, is I'm still in awe of, even right now, of the team that we have and the care that they have, and the willingness to work and build this with Daniel and I is, it's such an amazing feeling. And I honestly don't know if I'll get over that feeling ever. And it's probably the feeling the same feeling I'll have at the end of 2026 and seeing what we were able to accomplish and build together. So a standard or legacy that I feel like we are setting as a fulfillment company is actually what we're doing right here with our channel and the way we market our business. I think we've taken a unique approach in how we do this, and it's really kind of reflected across the industry. No one really did what we did, and now you're starting to see a lot of 3PLs do daily vlogs and posting on their channels, and there's a lot of people on my LinkedIn that I'm seeing do it now, and it almost makes me step back and wonder, did they get this idea from us, or are we inspiring people, or kind of setting this new standard in the industry? And I'd like to say yes, and I think that we're starting that legacy, but I just want to continue to build upon that and let that be our legacy, right? We are the premier 3PL that has a YouTube channel and promoting via social media marketing and untraditional methods, and honestly untraditional methods in everything we do. But at the end of the day, when you partner with Relay Distribution, you're getting no BS, you're getting a real partnership and real people that are willing to work with you and get the job done on whatever is needed to be done. And while we may take untraditional approaches, we put in the work, we make sure we have the right processes, we have the technology, as you can see, we have the automation, as you can see, we have the right platform and everything, and the right people and the right attitude, which honestly is what a lot of this boils down to. So if you want a no bullshit partnership and real people to work with, real people to contact, Relay Distribution is your go-to.